It's Talladega. I don't know what else to say, honestly. I'm gonna actually readjust this Zoom part of it though really quick. So there we go. There I'm moving. Woo! I figured it was perfect with Talladega to have a Dale Jr. hat on, an old school Dale Jr. one. But welcome everybody. This is the post race for the 2023 Love's RV Stop 250 at Talladega, the lone truck series race at Dega this season. Thank you also really quick to Tyler McGonigal for the 5, saying Deegan with the top 10, kept it clean, and was there when it counted at the end. Solid day for her. It was a solid day. You know what? You didn't hear much about her, but she finished up front. That's all that matters at the end of the day. And Allie Miller, thank you for the 2. Sanchez may sneak into the championship 4, strong at mile and a halfs. Very true. And Beast of Metal 1989, thank you for the 10, saying anybody got a candle to light for motorsport games? If so, make sure you keep it away from long suspected grifter Dimitri Costco, and hand it to the ground level employees instead. Yes, if you haven't known or heard about it, motorsport games, from what it looks like, is really in its death throes at this point, and the website and everything is pretty much gone of all NASCAR and everything else like it. And as for Sanchez, let's talk about that championship 4 right now. Heim, of course, is in for the final 4, but Hocevar is second at the moment, plus 23 over the cut line heading into the Homestead Miami Speedway in 2 weeks. Eckes is plus 9 in third, lost about 20-some points, if not a win, but probably not a win, but still 20-something points, finishing way in the back after being shuffled out. Very reminiscent of the 2001 Fall Cup race finish. Nick Sanchez at the moment plus 3 in 4th spot over Grant Enfinger, who is 3 out in 5th. 6th will go to Ben Rhodes, minus 5. Majeski, minus 19 in 7th. And 8th, and the final spot in a must-win scenario heading into Homestead, Zane Smith. Let's get into the finishing order of this race. Be sure to subscribe if you're new, like the stream, and I'm pretty sure I figured out how to not have constant ads popping up during this. So let me know if there's any ads that pop up during it. I set it off. I'm trying something new, but here we go with the finishing order of this race. Unofficial results, but these are the results that we have at the moment. This race was 99 laps long, 2 hours, 28 minutes, 51 seconds, 23 lead changes among 11 leaders, 8 cautions. The finishing order at the moment, Brett Moffitt with the W on the day, followed by Ben Rhodes in second. Then Thompson finishes third. Chandler Smith and a one-off comes home fourth. And in fifth is Corey Heim. Daniel Dye with a 6th place run. Nick Sanchez with a much-needed 7th. Haley Deegan, talked about her a little bit before, gets a top 10. That's really all she can ask for at this point. Great to have this little kind of nugget of good at the end of a pretty forgettable season. So great run by Deegan today, staying out of trouble. 9th is Parker Kligerman. Then you got Lawless Allen rounding out the top 10 in 10th. Carson Hocevar in 11th, followed by Raja Caruth in 12th. 13th is Grant Enfinger. Jack Wood in the 14th spot. Garrett Smithley 15th. 16th, Brett Holmes. Then Ryan Vargas with the 17th place run. First race back in America. 18th is Taylor Gray. Then 19th, Christian Eckes. Jake Drew finishes a lap down in 20th. A lot of the guys after this are out of the race. Ty Majeski out in 21st. 22nd, Corey Roper also out. 23rd, Colby Howard out. 24th out of the race as well for Matt Crafton and Tanner Gray in 25th. Greg Von Alst, really hard hit in that big crash towards the end of the race. 26th out of this race. Then you have Jason White, 11 laps down, finishing 27th. 28th, Chase Purdy. He would be out of this race. Jake Garcia, 20 laps down. Didn't even get to start this race at the start. He comes home 29th. Tyler Hill comes home 30th out of this race. Same with Bailey Curry in 31st, out as well. Zane Smith, 44 laps down, final finishing car on the day, 32nd position. And the final 4 guys here, all out of this race. It is Tyler Ankrum in 33rd. Stuart Friesen, who I have not seen an update yet, but was transported to a local hospital after his wreck. He finished 34th. 35th in a return to big-time NASCAR racing, David Gilliland. And 36th, Brian Duzat, I believe is how you say his name, comes home in the last position. Let's pop up the scorecard or the final results, whatever you want to call it, up top for this race. It's not the Auto Trader at Ecomotive 400 or whatever. I swear I changed that. Here. I'm showing you an on-air production meeting. This is how it looks on air. Love's RV Stop 250. All right, let's see about getting that back up again. We're going to take this off and then reset it. And there you go. There's the right race. I swear. Talladega is wild for everyone, even me. But let's kind of get into this race really quick. I want to let you all know something. Duza. Okay, Duza is how you say it. All right, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, so the Love's RV Stop 250 is what we got for this race. So, oops. And really quick, I want to let you guys know something. Opportunity opened up for me as a little one-off thing. So if you're going to be next Saturday at the Nashville Fairgrounds, I'll be doing the pit reporting on it. It opened up. I figured I'd jump in. So I will not be post-race for the Roval Xfinity race. I will be for Cup. But if you're coming out to Nashville or you want to watch on Racing America, go on ahead. More info will be coming out this week on it. And I'll let you guys know as well at the end of the show as a reminder too. But pretty cool stuff coming ahead at the Nashville Fairgrounds. I appreciate them giving me the opportunity. It's going to be a ton of fun. I cannot wait. And I don't know. I'm just excited. I'm excited. But let's talk about this race. The Love's RV Stop 250. All right. I personally thought it was a pretty good race. A little too wreck happy at the end, but it's what it is. You have that with Talladega. You know that's coming with the Truck Series on a super speedway as well. So pole sitter Chase Purdy, Jake Garcia, I talked about him a moment ago, would spend 20 or so laps behind the wall before the race. I don't know what exactly happened. I think the car just wouldn't start, or the truck wouldn't start from what they were saying. That's really the rundown on that. Jack Wood would jump the start and have to do a pass-through penalty early in this race. But mostly the racing was really good and clean. Couple of lines that were pretty even with each other. But for the most part, still the clutch. Okay, so the clutch was out. Maybe it was just me being busy around it, or maybe it was just Fox not reporting it perfectly well. But the racing, for the most part, pretty good in stage one. Nothing really too much of note, just good racing. Sanchez wins this stage over Carson Hocevar. Heim in third, Majeski and Holmes, the top 5. 6th would go to Kobe Howard. Then Parker Kligerman, 7th. Tanner Gray, 8th. David Gilliland, 9th. And Thompson in 10th. Moving on to stage 2. We had what is the thumbnail of this. I want to tell you all now, I would not put this as a thumbnail if this guy was hurt, but the crew member on Zane Smith's crew gets hit as Zane starts to spin it around, getting damage to the truck. He is okay. They interviewed him. I'm just letting you all know now, because if he was actually hurt or if the team was upset, I would remove the thumbnail. So just letting you all know now. Plus, also NASCAR posted it, and I figured if they think he's all right enough to post it, okay to post. But that was the first big thing of stage 2 under what is one of many insanely long yellow flags. I don't know what was going on today with the yellow flags, but all of them were really, really long. And that, I think, needs to be really, I don't know if sewn up is the right word or not, but just that's something. It was a difficult race to watch at times for race control or caution procedure or broadcast, which we'll talk about too. But still, they get going again. Pack gets really gnarly on the restart. 3 wide, 38 at this point in the garage, which is why Zane Smith is now 36 points back in the 8th spot. But for the most part, pretty good until we have that first wreck with Friesen, Gilliland, Ankrum. And this is the point where, because of a hard hit, Stuart Friesen was able to get out of the car, or the truck, I should say, off on his own power. But he would be taken to a local hospital, and I'm seeing this in the chat. I'm going to double check just to be sure, but it's looking like Greg Van Alst, after his really scary crash, has also now, reported by Bob Pockris and Toby Christie, both, has been taken to a local hospital for further evaluation. So 2 drivers, as we know right now, have been taken to local hospitals, or the local hospital near Talladega Super Speedway. So hoping the best both for Stuart Friesen and for Greg Van Alst. I'm not a fan of that, obviously, and we'd never want to see drivers get hurt. I hope that both of them are okay and make a quick recovery. Racing Aerials, I see in the chat that the Abu Dhabi sports streams are free on their websites, commercial free. I might start doing more of that. I know a lot of people don't have that option and just have to watch cruddy broadcasts. But I'm going to probably start doing that. But yeah, again, hopefully, and we are hoping the best for both Stuart Friesen and Greg Van Alst, 2 really rough wrecks, and I hate seeing drivers get. But let's talk a little bit. That wreck that Friesen and Gilliland had with Ankrum was at the end of stage 2, meaning that Parker Kligerman would win stage 2 over Sanchez, Hocevar, Majeski, and Rhodes. After that, you got Tanner Gray in 6th, Taylor Gray in 7th, 8th, Brett Holmes, 9th, Thompson, and Heim coming home 10th in stage 2, which leads us to the final stage. On lap 51, we have a wreck with 5 trucks at this point. Really just a bad bump draft. Fox is on commercial for that, so I feel for y'all that missed it. For those of you who are watching on the international feed, you got to see it. But at this point, with on lap 58, which was, I believe, what would that be, 36 to go, which is around the same time, we have another wreck. There was a restart, 2 dominant lanes. They set up, but Bailey Curley and Tyler Hill wreck down the backstretch, and that was a pretty big hit, too, as well, for Bailey Curry in the 41 truck. He is okay, luckily, so good to know there. By the way, be sure to click that like button. Let's get the likes up. If you're new, subscribe. We do this for pretty much every one of the Big 3 Series races. And we don't have many races left this season, so get your NASCAR fix in with me, and be sure to like the stream if you want it to continue on. Let's go to 32 to go, where we have another restart. Nearly have a big wreck. They have a bit of a stack up. At this point, Nick Sanchez had a restart violation. I think they said he laid back a little too much, but it was a very ticky-tacky penalty. But NASCAR was not playing around until the last lap when you talked about bumpers being hooked. But we'll talk about that in a moment. But they kind of went single file for a little bit. I think they got scared out of being too aggressive. But with it, there was tons of shuffling up front that became of it, because once they were single file, other guys started making other lines, and you started getting that movement in the pack churning again and again and again. With 23 to go, Jack Wood would have his hood fly off of the truck after some earlier damage. Because of that, we have the caution with 23 to go. It was weird. The Fox booth didn't mention it for about a lap. Last time I checked, somebody's hood flying off at Talladega is a big friggin' deal. But they did not. But we go 18 laps to go. Chase Purdy does not go. This would be big for him later in the race. But it was only 3 laps later before he'd be able to catch up back to the pack, because Roger Carruth would spin. Left front gets damage on his truck. It was because Carson Hocevar got into him and collected Ryan Vargas as well. All of which were able to continue on and finish on the lead lap, though. With 10 to go is where you start having the interesting factor kind of pile on in. We have another restart. It's Moffitt versus Eckes, and this time we have a crash in the tri-oval with Howard and Purdy. Purdy being stuck back there because of what happened on the previous restart, not being able to go. Had he not had that bad restart, he's probably not back there and collected, or there may not even be a wreck. But either way, we get a red flag because of it, because of the absurdly long cautions. By the way, I saw it go down a little bit in viewers. Was there an ad? I want to know that because it was a weird spike up and down. Let me know if there were ads. I've turned them off. I don't know why they if that I know they've been popping on even when people turn them off. But let me know. I want to make sure that it's the best for y'all watching it. But after this red flag, we finally get a restart, and this is where the big one strikes. Now, I counted 16. Some counted 15. It's around 15, 16 trucks in this big one. This is where we have that hellacious hit for Greg Van Alst. Very unfortunate that we have to have this every single truck race. I'll never forget. It was, I think, the finish of the truck race I was at, 21, where the Talladega track president came out and he's like, "This is how the finish of every NASCAR race should be." It's like, no, we should not be crashing half the damn field every time we have a race at Talladega. That's just me. Maybe some people like it. But this big one comes out. We have another red flag come out because of it. Takes out a lot of good and major players, playoff guys as well. Just about anyone in the field today. I think it was like 26 of 36 trucks were involved in a wreck or skirmish in some way in this, which, again, does not surprise me. Yep, that's right. That's right. The Tate Fogelman win. That's right. I saw Tate Fogelman, Brandon Brown, and Bubba Wallace all win in the same weekend. That was wild, man. And as for your question, Alessandro, I don't know what happened to Tate Fogelman. He ain't racing right now, though. But let's get back to the here and now. We have our one and only overtime. Brett Moffitt versus Christian Eckes. Eckes gets the lead on the white flag lap. I believe he had Chandler Smith glued to his back bumper. With the bumper locking rule, I was expecting a penalty, but much like the yellow line rule, NASCAR really does not enforce rules all the time. And maybe they were bumping, it was just really close. I don't know. They kept a wide shot for like the only time Fox ever does a wide shot. But the pack gets all the energy churned up behind him, going through 1 and 2. You have the outside line getting the momentum. Eckes goes up there, but when you go up making that big of a block, when they have that much of an advantage, they blow right by you. He finishes 19th, last on the lead lap, and it is Brett Moffitt who gets the lead, takes the win in the brand new 34 team, I believe. Yes, the 34 team for front row, and he is your winner today. As Phoebe would say, for 2, the duel of the mustaches ends this race. I will say, I thought when they were racing and not wrecking, great racing today. Absolutely great racing. The best that the Truck Series has to offer, I think. Unfortunately, we all said the best and worst, which is a big thing in Talladega races for the Truck Series. I'm excited for tomorrow, though. I really think with how worn out this track is getting and how well the Cup guys have been getting this package to race better and better at super speedways, I am really expecting great things out of tomorrow's race. Usually when it comes to packages, while it might seem better in the spring or at the Daytona 500 or whatever, Talladega Fall Race is very often the most solid race year in and year out for the Cup Series. I think with the playoffs on the line, with anyone really going for the win, I think it's going to be really, really fun. And as Milton says, Talladega is very bumpy. It was bumpy today. It is starting to remind me of the Talladega I grew up with in the 2000s. I really like, because then the handling starts to matter more. And the handling is going to be mattering more as this track ages. Same with Daytona and Atlanta. Atlanta, it's already mattering. I love that. NASCAR comparisons in the chat saying the fact that they didn't mention Greg Van Alst being transported to the local hospital or bring much attention to it is unacceptable. I agree. And I'm going to say this. I like Jamie Little as a pit reporter. He is one of the best pit reporters in NASCAR, and I don't think she deserves any hate for being a good pit reporter. As an announcer, though, I'm going to say it was a good experiment. I thought maybe... and Phoebe's right about the Craig Van Alst thing. Maybe they didn't know. But as for Jamie Little, it's a great experiment to see how well she do. I just don't think that she has the charisma or voice for it. I would like to get Adam Alexander for the second half of the truck season signed on, especially seeing how Fox and NBC are going to be losing the Xfinity Series now to CW coming in 2025, starting that year. I would really, really like to see Adam Alexander get the full-time truck deal. I think he deserves it, and it's been proven with Rick Allen that you can have somebody go from a Truck Series announcer to a Cup Series announcer. And plus, Adam Alexander for me is probably one of my favorite announcers right now. He has improved immensely since coming to Fox. I don't know if he got taken under the wing of Mike Joy, but he has been really, really good as of late. And he has to work with so many different people. It shows how what's the word? How versatile he can be. But I saw that. I saw what Allie Miller saying is that he said Brett Moffitt is fighting for the Xfinity title. Even though he missed it. And Adam Alexander's done Cup before on TNT. I thought he wasn't as good at TNT. I thought he was a little too raw, fresh, whatever you want to call it. But I think he's improved a lot. The one that got me is when they showed the Giants and Saints logo on the side of that RV, and she called it a Jets logo. I'm like, that is gonna bring a war in New York for however many people there are watching this race. Like, that's not a Jets logo. That's a Giants one, unless I missed it. But I saw a Giants logo. But I don't know. I had fun. I think tomorrow's race will be a lot better. I think that tomorrow's race is gonna have a lot of stakes at mine. I think it'll be a lot better than last year's, and I thought last year's was really good. I hope they don't have a big wreck fest at the end. I hope we have a legitimate green flag finish without all the BS. Now, I believe the Cup Series qualifying is either already started or is about to start. I don't know if it's on FS2 or not, or not FS2, USA, or if it's on Peacock. I'm so used to it back in the day being on Speed all the time, no matter who is covering the Cup Series. But we will find out who gets the pole today. Again, quick reminder, I will be out at the Nashville Fairgrounds this coming Saturday, a week from today. So if you're out there, be sure to come watch. I'll be on pit road. IDK player Jonathan Ramos up in the booth. And if you can't watch, I'll be able to share. If you have Racing America, be able to check them out. I'll get more information to you as soon as I know. But thank you all so much for watching. It was a fun race. I have a lot of positive thoughts about tomorrow. Again, we hope the best for those drivers who were injured today. That is a quick recovery or not too serious of an injury. And y'all have a great day. I don't know about y'all. I'm having a great week, great day. My mom's coming down. I can see my mom for the first time in about a month, so I'm happy. So if you're listening, hi, Mom. And until tomorrow, catch you next time. Later, y'all.